All right, guys. So Ryan from Industry Threadworks. Today we have Tim Speer from Veteran Inc. So we're going to talk about what it takes to, because Veteran Inc. is not an apparel brand. It's a company that does a variety of things, but they do have an apparel division of the company. But we're going to get into like, what does that look like? How do you expand that apparel division of the company? And number one, should you? And two, if it does make sense for your brand, how do you do that in a reliable way that's going to make it profitable, interesting for your consumer, a value add, and also not take up a huge amount of bandwidth with the company because you guys are busy running a real company doing other stuff, not trying to run a t-shirt company.
Right.
Cool. All right. Thanks for coming, man.
No, thanks for having me.
So I guess the first thing, because I always like to, the main thing I always ask people when they want to start a clothing line is why. And surprisingly, even though we produce apparel for a bunch of brands, my main thing is I always try to talk people out of it because it's like, it's so hard to start. But I think starting an apparel line is different than adding apparel to an existing company. So just give like the brief spiel on what Veteran Inc. is, what you got to do, and then why you want to add apparel to that package.
Yeah, absolutely. So Veteran Inc. is actually a nonprofit 501c3. We raise money to give veterans free tattoos as a means of therapy and community. And one of the things that I've noticed going along with that is that I did make, obviously swag. We got to have apparel to just like represent, it's kind of like our uniform, but I give it to the veterans. And even, for business development purposes and marketing.
Most brands, when they start getting into apparel, they focus on it as like a giveaway.
Yeah,
in most cases.
Exactly. Swag. So it's basically just been swag I've been giving away. But, actually last week I was at a golf tournament and I was selling the hats to raise money. So I was selling the hats for a profit. I was making hats for like $12 a pop. I was selling them for 35. And I'm like, okay, there's something here. But not only that, because the whole brand is focused around working on, with art, tattoos.
Yeah.
I want to do some collaborations with artists for some apparel. It's like, why not get a sweet Joey Hamilton shirt made or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's cool. And art is one of the harder things for a brand, not an apparel brand, but a company to pick up on, because normally like if you're a furniture company, it's like, you as the owner might have this vision for really cool shit, but is that the message you want to be given to your furniture customers? Like, we're just trying to buy a t-shirt, not, have some gung-ho.
Yeah. I've been in that predicament with things. But we're not an apparel brand, guys. Like,
yeah. So you guys have good stuff. What have you guys done in the past, and what was working, and what do you want to change?
In the past, we've done a lot of stuff, dude. It's not just been apparel. We do the stress balls because a lot of people screw.
Oh yeah.
They're getting tattoos.
That's a good one.
Pens, pencils, notebooks. The t-shirts, these ones have been pretty successful. And actually, before I stepped in, they had a different logo, and it had like stars that went around the circle too.
Oh, that's cool.
It was too busy.
Mm-hmm.
And they cut it out. And this logo has, as in my experience since I've been there, it's been pretty popular amongst everyone. Cool. They see the V, and I don't know if they think it's a knockoff of Viore or something, or like, especially because I had some hats made that look kind of similar to that. But the people have been going crazy for it. So.
Cool, dude. That's good. One thing that a big pothole that a lot of brands step in when they're starting to add apparel to their main business is going like too hard with it, like launching like 7 different designs. And because it's different running an apparel brand versus running a business that has apparel. So you don't want to make the mistake of getting like too embedded in it, because then it takes up a lot of your bandwidth and you got too much shit to track. You got inventory issues, and then capital. Yeah. And then people don't, like, apparel should add value to your main business, not detract from value. And a big part of that value is bandwidth of your personnel and your people being able to like monitor and like maintain that, because it does take some maintenance, because you're going to sell out of certain sizes faster than others. You're going to have to restock. So if you have like 10 different designs, that's 10 times the amount of work. So now you've got to hire an employee or burden an existing employees. Yeah, it's a lot. So I always recommend that businesses in this case usually start out with, yours is a little bit different because you have existing sales data. And how many designs have you had before? Like 5 different designs?
You mean for as far as the logo goes?
As far as like what you guys are offering for the customer, like when they go on the website, how many different designs just for t-shirts?
Oh, just for t-shirts, one.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was going to say. Just do one t-shirt, have a basic logo. Usually I recommend offering in two colors,
Okay.
because that way you can do, every print shop is different, but for us, 100 units is like the best initial price break, because we have to charge setup fees below 100 units. And so we don't charge any setup fees at 100 units.
Okay.
So that way your per unit price is going to be lower. So
That's for unit is a individual
per shirt. Yeah.
design. Not the color.
So it's the design. So you'll have like veteran ink, and then that logo will be like your logo tee, and you'll have that logo tee in like 100 units.
Okay.
But split between two colors. So black, in almost all markets, black usually sells twice as good as every other color. So I normally recommend doing black as the baseline and then adding in a separate color. So for you guys, maybe like a military green would be good.
Okay.
Like next level, those are on next level 6210s, right? It's funny, you can just recognize it after a while.
It's like they're so common.
They're great shirts, man. So in that case, I normally recommend doing either a 60-40 split or a 70-30 split. Like say 60% black and 40% say light green or military green.
Okay.
Which is good. Normally for the audience here, most markets, black will sell twice as good as every other color. The other colors that sell well is usually a gray, some shade of gray. Or if it's a military market, military green, light olive is also a good choice for the 6210. It's just a lighter version of military green. And those are the two main ones. Sometimes a blue will slip in there, but it's a certain personality type that wears like a blue shirt or a red shirt or a magenta shirt. Yeah. Most people aren't willing to stand out that much. So they like a black or a green or
I normally go for black or gray. So
yeah. Most of the people that buy gray shirts is because they already have so many black shirts, they can break up with a gray shirt.
that's neat.
Yeah. So in this case, recommend doing 100 units because that's going to get you around, depending on the details, like $15 to $16.50 mark.
Okay.
And that includes like the private label neck labels and front and back print and like folded and bag ready to go. So when you go to ship it, which is a different conversation, you don't have to fold it or anything. It's already folded. You just grab it off the shelf, throw it in the bag, and you slap a label on it and you're good to go. So it's minimal time on your end. I always recommend brands or if you're getting t-shirts made, you should definitely get them folded and bagged from the factory.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like 50 cents more. But did I ever tell you a story when Mike and I first did it?
No.
We had like, it's kind of a funny story. We got our first order was like 300 units, and the print shop was going to charge us 50 cents to like fold and bag them. We're like, dude, fuck that. We're just
Hell to do it.
have some beers. There's 3 of us at the time. We're just have some beers and fold these, dude. We got like 2 hours into it, and we're halfway drunk, and we're like, we got through like 75 shirts. We're like, we took all of them back to the print shop the next day.
We'll pay the 50.
I will happily pay you $150 to full size fucking t-shirts, dude. It was a way worth. And also if you're traveling, you guys do a lot of events, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's perfect because now you can, because we do a lot of events with Forge too. You have your normal travel bags and you have one big ass duffel bag because you pay the same amount whether you're getting a large bag or a small bag.
Yeah.
So you just pack the biggest suitcase you can full of shirt
and shit,
and you just take it with you, and then you have it with you. And then if you sell them, you just throw it across the room to somebody, and it's super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you can't do that with a non-folded tee, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and you're like looking and shit too, like opening every
call. Yeah. And we'll get into the event stuff too. There's some stuff on the fulfillment side for events that might be useful too. But to keep things on track for this, so I recommend 60-40 split or 70-30. But within that, you got to have the sizing ratio. So every market is different, but it's always a bell curve. So you're going to sell normally 3 to 4 times as many larges as you do mediums. Medium to XL is usually the same, and the XLs are usually slightly more than the mediums, depending. So it's a little bit of a bell curve. Yeah. Now, if you add smalls and triple X's to that, those are below the mediums and below the 2XLs. I don't want to bore the audience with this, but that's basically what it looks like. When you send me the design file, I'll send you back an email with the the sizing ratio. This can be like 60%. And so it'll be a certain amount of, whatever size, smalls through 3XLs
Okay.
in that bell curve. And then 40 in the smalls and mediums, smalls through 3XLs in the secondary size. But we'll figure that on our end and send it to you. It's like, hey, this is our recommendation. And then you can look at it and say, hey, look, we have a ton of dudes who are 2XL. And then we just bump those up and we pull the numbers from maybe less mediums.
Yeah.
Instead of like a dozen mediums, we do like 6 mediums and 2 dozen 2XL. So that's kind of how the sizing is.
Yeah.
We will handle all that on our end. Most of our clients don't know that. I don't expect our clients to know that because nobody knows that. Most of our brands don't even know that unless they're like
Makes sense.
data nerds. Yeah, it's a lesson you learn really quick your first order because normally
What am I going to do with all these triple XLs?
right? Because if your sizing curve is a bell curve, I remember Mike and I ordered like flat, like we ordered the same amount of like, let's say 100 units, same amount of like mediums through 2XLs. So we had 20 of each.
Oh no.
So we had pretty soon our inventory looked like a fucking canoe,
Yeah. All the large are on.
and we had a year's worth of supply of mediums. Yeah. So we'll handle all that on our end. But the basics of it are just so you know, that's kind of how it should be structured. So in the audience, when you're creating this PO for whatever print shop you're working with, you're going to look like a fucking rock star client if you send that to them. And like clients never send that to us. So when they do,
Yeah.
in the rare cases they do, we're like, oh fuck yeah, this guy knows
what he's doing. Yeah.
So that's the basics of it. That's the product. So the product is pretty easy. The design, you send us over a design file. Most businesses don't have their design file in Adobe Illustrator. The designer will refer to it as AI, but now most people know AI is
It's computer.
artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So just know when you're dealing with a print shop, it's normally called a vector file. So the file we talked about before the cameras are on.
Yeah.
It's a raster image, meaning like a raster image it's like a picture. So when you zoom in on it, it starts to get blurry.
Pixel.
But a vector file, no matter how much you zoom in on it, it's like a light switch. There's no gradients. It's either fully on or fully off. And that's how printing works. Because a screen doesn't let some ink through, it either lets ink through or it doesn't let ink through.
Perfect lines.
Exactly. So that's why vector is the best format for screen printing.
Would it print it out blurry then?
No,
Just wouldn't do it.
Once you convert it to vector, it'll take those gradients where it's kind of like halfway, and it'll either make it black or white. It'll make it one color or the other. So if you have like a gradient edge, it'll come out really choppy and it looks like shit. So that's why you always want to send your designer, or not your designer, you always want to get from your designer the most high resolution files you can. Ask your designer if they can do vector. When he's creating the artwork, tell your designer you want it in vector format if you're doing screen printing. If they're a good designer, they will know what that means.
Yeah.
And they'll send it to you either in a .eps file, a .pdf, or a .ai file. If you don't have Adobe Illustrator on a computer, you won't be able to open the file. So it'll look like nothing to you, but that's the file that the print shop needs.
Okay.
If they're a good designer, they'll also send you the JPEG or something that you can open as well. They'll send you both, so you can open it, and then but you should send the vector file. Yeah, so that'll be really, really useful to the print shop. But your file, so you sent me a .svg file, which is sometimes vector, sometimes not, depending how the designer creates it. This was a raster file, but it was super high resolution. So I just ran a trace program on it in 10 seconds and it converted it to vector. And because it's super clean, black on white, it was very easy to do. And now I got a super clean vector file. So
instant.
Yeah, just know that ahead of time. So when you're talking with your designer and your print shop, those are the files that they're going to look for. Not that you really need to know, but just know that that conversation is going to happen in the background. So if you can be a part of that, it's even better.
And I imagine you need some pretty expensive software to turn it to a vector program or format.
Adobe Illustrator is like, I think we lease it for like $19 a month.
Oh.
Yeah, it's super cheap. It's actually pretty intuitive. Like Photoshop is also from Adobe.
Okay.
But that program is a nightmare. I mean, it's not intuitive at all. I hate
Photoshop.
No, I never used it. Yeah, they've got two totally different teams from there. I can muddle around with it, but I'm not good at all in Photoshop. But vector makes sense. Like I could teach you how to do vector and all this stuff. It does exactly what you think it's going to do. So it's a very intuitive program to learn. You got like a half a day learn it. If you're a brand owner, you should definitely get Adobe Illustrator and learn how to use it. It'll be so worth your time. Like I show you, easy to change colors.
Yeah.
You can change colors in half a second versus it's going to take you so long to like tell your designer, like fire an email, tell them, hey, I need this a different color red. If you can get on Illustrator and do these minor corrections yourself, it's going to save you so much time. I mean, it's just the way to go. But most businesses don't do that, and you don't need to do that. It's totally fine. That's kind of what we do on our end, because this is exactly the type of thing we do all day. So with that, so the design, we have the design. So you sent me the front design. You sent me the back design too, which is super clean. Let me see what the back design. Yeah. So it's basically the same thing, and then with some font on it. So yeah, I'll just convert that to vector. That might need a little bit of cleanup with the ink inside there.
Yeah, the ink looks a little.
Yeah, but that's super easy. And the little registered, the little R, the TM in there. I can just drop that in there. So I just clean that up on mine because it takes 20 seconds.
Okay.
But anyway, if you're a business owner, that's not something you need to worry about. Just
okay.
You can hand off files to the print shop.
They should know how.
They deal with it all the time. They'll know how to do it. But anyway, so you've handed the print shop the front design file, the back design file. It also helps to label it. So if you can, when you're sending them the email, send them, hey, this is the front design, this is the back design, and tell them what you want. Because sometimes we're like, do you want this super big on the front? We don't know which one's the front and the back. For yours, it makes sense. Like we can pretty much figure that out. But a lot of times we don't know which is the front and which is the back. So you got to tell them which, and also how big you want it. Like, hey, I want all the variations. Yeah, just some little notes. Just understand that when you're sending this to somebody, they don't know what you know. So just a one sentence like, hey, put this here, roughly. You know, you don't have to be specific, even just small left chest placement. They'll know that's probably,
you don't need the dimension.
Yeah, that's probably 3 inches wide. They'll know all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then we do that. Are you guys currently private labeling your stuff with your own neck label in there, or does it have the next level tag in?
I think it's just, this is the next level tag.
Okay, yeah, it had a tag in, but the tag I ripped out at some point.
This is the next level.
Yeah, I hate tags, dude.
I had tried the nuts.
Do you guys want to do private labeling, or do you want to keep the next level tags in? It's like a 75-cent difference.
I suppose, I'm not sure on that right now. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference for the first ones. I think it would be cool to have the tag be in there for like artwork that artists provide for us. That way we're getting more branding in there. But yeah, or just if it's just our shirt like this, then I think just leave the next level tag in there.
Okay.
I think the 75 cents is worth it though if we have, some of our tattoo artists work on the shirt as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And we also could do, maybe just for the sake of conversation, we'll just throw it in there for free. Something to consider with when you're relabeling garments, it's called private labeling. So if you sell that t-shirt, there are certain FTC requirements that have to be on the garment because you are selling it. So now you are responsible for it. But if you leave the next level tag in, it already has all the FTC requirements in there, and they're super easy. So everybody listening, it's only 5 things. Number 1 is the brand name, which is obvious. It's on the, yeah. Should have it on there. If you know, you should have it on there. 2 is the size, which is also obvious. 3 is the washing instructions, which can be then. It's just complicated. We've had clients who say like, washing the blood of your enemies, or like the dim is like washing sweat. And the FTC is not going to come after you.
They don't care what it is then.
No, they do. It's not FTC compliant, but they're not going to come after a small gym. So like, your neck labels really shouldn't say washing sweat or the blood of your enemies. So that's fine. But what we use is just washing cold, tumble, dry, low. Super easy. The 4th thing is material content, which is within 5%. So the next level 6210s are a 60-40 blend. So we just put in there 60% cotton, 40% polyester, totally good. If you have like a 55-35 blend, you're still good because it only has to be within 5%.
Okay.
Just know that when you convert, so if you're doing like hoodies and t-shirts in a run, you'll have to make the tags because those are normally 80-20. So you'll have to make the same tags, 60-40, and then the same tags for 80-20. The print shop can do it. We normally charge $100 to make the tags. But also it's super easy to do if you know Illustrator.
Are they tags or are they printed on?
So they're printed on here, but we have to make the design with all there and size it. Normally the sizing we can do up to 3.5 inches wide 3.5 inches tall by 3 inches wide, and limitation, it can be one color.
Okay.
And then the fifth thing on there is the country of origin, which people get stuck on. So there used to be a loophole with the FTC where it was a or statement and then it got changed to an and statement. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. So it used to be 3 processes or 70% of the product needed to be made in the USA, and then you could label it made in the USA.
Okay.
So the loophole used to be if we're printing in multiple locations, cutting the tag out, printing a new one in, folding, bagging, all the stuff, that's more than 3 processes technically. So you could, under the FTC regulations, say made in the USA. And then they changed that from an or to an and. So now it has to be that and 7%. But also these regulations are not meant for garments. They're meant for like computers and tripods and all sorts of shit.
And I know how that shit works. It's all made somewhere else.
Yeah, so it's been a huge loophole in the garment industry for years, and they closed the loophole. So now all we do is super easy. We say printed in the USA on imported garments, and that, according to what I know of the FTC now, is supposed to be 100% legal from them.
But you can't say made in the USA.
Can't say made in the USA unless you print on USA made garments, which you can totally do, but they're more expensive and they're usually less quality, surprisingly. Yeah, so it's usually not worth it. But those are the 5 things. So yeah, just say printed in the USA on imported garments, and then you can import garments from wherever you want in the world. And even the 6210s are made in like, I think 3 or 5 different countries across the world. And you might get a batch of like 1,000, and some are made in Guatemala, some are made in Honduras. So like,
Wow.
and you can't, there's no way you could put the labels like this one's made in Honduras, this is made in Guatemala.
Yeah.
And the FTC doesn't care. They're just like, this is made outside the US, this is not made in
Imported materials.
Yeah, they don't care the exact color.
Doesn't matter.
And that covers it, yeah.
You know, Sony, the power tool industry, you can take an engine and a frame from 2 different countries, but if you assemble them in the US,
really?
made in the US.
Yeah, see, interesting stuff. And that's what the FTC guidelines are made for. So that's why the garment industry was able to kind of leap through for a long time. But anyway, if you're like a t-shirt nerd, which probably all the people watching this are definitely involved in the garment industry, that's useful. But
They're nudists.
yeah, but right. Yeah, but you don't need to worry about that. I'm just over explaining it for the viewers. Okay, so we'll do the neck labels on there, folding, bagging. So roughly at 100 units, 2 print locations, neck labels, folding, bagging, that would normally be like, say, $16.50 or something like that. Other ladies would be like $15, something like that, all in. Yeah. And there's no, because it's one color each side, we don't have to charge any setup fees, right?
Okay.
So it's a flat rate. The other thing that you're going to need, you probably already have, is a reseller's permit.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so that means we don't have to charge sales tax on it either.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're good with that. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I know it sounds like a lot, but from your side of it, like I said, I'm just over explaining here, but from your side of it, all you need to do is email the high resolution files to the print shop, tell them some basic instructions, and then they will, like what we'll do, we'll take this, shoot you back a mock-up that looks basically exactly like that, just so you have like a warm and fuzzy that like, hey, this looks right. So we're basically checking placement, we're checking sizing, we're checking size, all this stuff. And you say, yeah, looks good. And we'll send that email with the sizing ratio and the price for everything. And then you say yes. And then we start production, and it takes about 2 to 2.5 weeks. And then you pick up the shirts.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super easy. Yeah. There was something else in there I forgot, but that's the basics of it. I mean, you can overcomplicate this stuff, but it's not super complicated. Oh, and then the side print too. I forgot about sleeve print. Mm-hmm. That'll probably add maybe 50 cents, 75 cents. So it might be like $15.50.
Okay.
Something like that. So all in.
Yeah.
I'm good to go with that.
Well, that's awesome, because then when we do collaboration t-shirts, I have more areas I can put logos, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically it, man. Oh, we talked a little bit about the events. So one thing that really helps with events too, because we used to do a lot with Forged, and it was such a pain in the ass to fly into a place, and then you got to set up a booth, and you got all your stuff. Do you guys have an easy up and everything that you're bringing?
Yep.
Yeah. Are you flying or driving to these events?
It depends. Yeah. Some of them, we try to do most of the events local right now, but we do fly out to quite a few different conventions, tattoo conventions. I've even gone to some gaming conventions for veterans. And yeah, if there's a lot of logistics that go into that, I got to ship stuff out ahead of time.
Perfect. So something, this might be useful. What we used to do is you got to fly with your easy up because that's a big pain in the ass. So driving is obviously way better.
Yeah.
Normally these guys will have a table set up for you. So you just get a table, like a tablecloth, and you just order those from, PS Print or something.com, or there's a ton of different places that you can order that stuff from. And then you just throw your table over there. They usually have chairs too. Pop your easy up and your golden. We used to, so we didn't have to fly with a bunch of shit. Our first stop was always like Walmart. So we'd fly in, our first stop before we went to the hotel, we go to Walmart, we get a bunch of hangers, and then we'd buy these little drawers, so like $20 each. And
little plastic ones?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They've got like 3 or 4 shelves. And then what we do is because you don't want to fly as in a clothing brand, you might have like a dozen different designs. You don't want to fly with all dozen because it's way too much. So we'd only fly with our like top 3, 4, 5 designs. So each drawer that we would set up had its own design. And if we'd pull people in to work the booth, you got to set them up so it's super easy for them to know what's what. So we would print out a picture of the design and the name of it, and we would put that on we put it on the drawer. So the people behind the booth knew which one it was.
Okay.
And then each size, one drawer would be mediums, one drawer would be large, one drawer would be XL, whatever. So that way, if somebody wants something, you're not digging through a box of all kinds of shit.
Yeah. That makes
You're like, oh, that's design. And you have because you bought the hangers, you're hanging the t-shirt up behind you.
display.
Yeah. And it always helps to do cash too, and do easy numbers like $20, $25, $30. And that makes it super easy because what you don't want to do is have like 5 people waiting, and then you got to run change. It's a massive pain in the butt. So the faster you can cut down that thing, somebody could point at it like, oh, I want that. Somebody sees the design who doesn't even know your stuff. They see the design, they look down, oh, that's that, and large, pull it out, boom, give it to them, take $30.
Now everybody wants Venmo. That's great.
Yeah, either way, yeah.
Every generation, it seems like. Last week, they all kind of like, do you take Venmo? I'm like, well, I have a QR code for the website.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you can do that.
no.
I think you can I don't know if you can set up so the way that it's super clean, you just get an iPad, and then Shopify has a POS system. Is your website on Shopify?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Another thing that might be useful if you guys are doing apparel and want to make it clean, you can set up a tab. So your main website, instead of redoing your whole website on Shopify, just make a tab on your website that says shop.
That's what we want to do.
And then you just get your domain .shop, which you can get through Shopify.
Okay.
It'll be a separate website. So when somebody clicks shop, it takes them to, it's actually a separate website, but it looks just like your website. It has the same domain and everything.
Okay.
Just shop at the end. And that's the Shopify store. And that'll track all the inventory. And then you have an iPad set up at the event, and somebody can buy it off there, because inventory tracking is a huge pain in the butt too.
Oh yeah.
But somebody can buy it off there. It automatically pulls the inventory from your virtual warehouse, and then it'll track all this stuff for you. I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think you can set up the iPad to take Venmo as well. Maybe. If not, that's a little bit complicated. But that's a super clean and easy way to do it. And that way, because I remember before we learned on this, we had like I think we were at the CrossFit Games, we had like 7 or 8 people deep, and like Mike and I are in conversations with people. We've got like models trying to do the stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like it was just a fucking disaster. And people would walk
away.
Yeah. And people would walk away because it would take so long to get the stuff out. Yeah, but that works pretty well, man. It's not like complicated. It's just a lot of like streamlining this for 5% extra time, streamlining it for 8% extra time. So all these things combined you can save a lot. And then at the end of the day, is when we're done with the event, we would just, it sucks. We just throw away all the clothes hangers and throw away the Walmart stuff.
I mean, better than flying it all out.
Yeah. Some things are worth it. Yeah, but that's basically how we run everything. It's not, like I said, it's not complicated. It's just a series of like systems and processes and streamlining things, a couple percent here and a couple percent there. Okay, cool.
Do you guys help with the Shopify setup, or is that something you go to Shopify for complete, like separate?
Shopify is super easy. Like I could make a website on there, and I'm a drunk monkey. Like, so if I could do it, anybody can do it. But we do actually build websites now. It's not our main thing. Like we don't usually do it. But yeah, sometimes we'll charge like $1,500 to $3,500, and we'll build out the website depending on what they need. Fuck, there's a whole thing. This might be useful too, because if people are sticking with this far, this might be a key piece. So on the website, you're going to need pictures of the product. So what a lot of brands do, we send them that mock-up for approval. A lot of times they'll use that because it's like a 3D mock-up. It doesn't look great, but it's serviceable.
Okay.
So if that's all you got, you can just put that product picture on there, and then at least like people know what they're getting.
Yeah.
What we've been doing lately, which is phenomenal, is using chat to just put the mock-up in there, and I put the design file in there, and say, hey, make us a 3D mock-up. And then it takes a couple tries, but it'll make you a really nice mock-up.
I'd probably put it on a model for you too.
It does. You ask it to do lifestyle photos.
No shit.
And
Dang.
I love chat because
AI isn't taking the photographer's job.
it really is. I mean, it takes some prompts. We'll come up with some wacky stuff.
That's crazy.
But then we take those lifestyle products and you layer out your product page, like the main product photo normally as the first, and then 2 to 3 lifestyle shots, and you're set. I mean, that's more built out than most apparel brands are running, at least new apparel brands.
Yeah.
And it's probably like 3 hours worth of work to just run with chat, get it organized, and then dump it in there. But the perception of like when somebody looks at the website and it pops up,
Yeah.
it looks like super pro.
And when you get it, it is what you.
Yeah, it represents.
Yeah.
Because that's the pictures. You don't want to sell somebody a picture of like what the product doesn't look like.
Yeah.
But if you have a good product, you want to represent that in.
Yeah, exactly. Because I did one of those print to ship setups at another company, and we did like a bunch of different designs, and some of them came to us and were like, that doesn't look like the mock-up. Or spacing was really fucking weird compared to like what we saw on the screen. So
Dude, that's the problem, man. It's like one of the issues that anybody who does apparel will have this experience. Like, you think the print shop knows what you want, and then what you get, it's like 50% of the time it's fucked up. So this is a high percentage of the time it is not what you exactly wanted. And we screw up sometimes too.
yeah.
But I mean, the difference is like we make it right.
Yeah, and you know to over communicate at the beginning
Exactly.
because of that.
Yeah, like we just fucked up an order for a friend of ours brand, and we printed the front. He wanted the back print on the front, and we printed the front print on the back. But then we added a different front print on the front, and it looked good. He actually ended up selling like 80% of the inventory anyway. Yeah, it still looked good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't exactly what he wanted. So we're like, dude, just send us back what didn't sell, and we'll reproduce those.
Okay.
Obviously at no cost.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does happen. Our whole thing is like, we just fuck up less than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do, we make it right.
Everybody fucks up.
Yeah. But that's the difference, is like most print shops you deal with are like, well, sorry.
And they just make you eat it.
And then you do like the POD, the print on demand stuff. They're not gonna fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole different.
Yeah. They're like,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, they fixed it, but like as far as what people got, that's what they got.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it right, and no way is really wrong. It's just there's varying degrees of like, streamlined and efficient.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I guess what is your position on those print on demand type shops?
It depends, man. Like, we're offering print on demand now too. But we didn't offer print on demand for a long time because it used to only have to be done with, because you can't do screen printing on demand because the nature of the setup is so long.
Yeah.
To do a setup for one t-shirt,
It has to be direct to.
yeah, it used to be only be done with DTG printing, direct garment printing, which was shit quality. So we just never offered it because that was not a quality.
It looks like shit.
Yeah, it looks like crap, and we don't want to present that to people. But now at DTF transfers, they're actually really nice.
What's DTF?
Direct to film, down to foot transfer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But they're nice, man. So London shirts. Yeah. So now it's a decent level of quality. Like it looks really clean and good. It's not it's not gonna last as long as screen printing,
Okay.
but it's gonna look clean. It'll
I've had
last
these
like,
shirts before then. Yeah.
yeah, it'll last like probably 40 to 50 washes, whereas a screen printing will last forever. But even depends on the printing, right? So like on the back there, you can see it's it's kind of peeling off.
Yeah.
So that's an example of like not all screen printers are created equal. So that's a failure in the printing process. Like your stuff, none of the stuff we printed in the last 12 years we've been doing this, I don't think any of it has ever like failed off. Yeah, it shouldn't crack. It shouldn't crack off. But anyway, that's kind of the basics of adding apparel to an existing business without getting too involved in the weeds, and it's kind of streamlining it so that you get a product that you're happy with, that your customers are happy with, that represents your brand well, that you can do the things you want to do with it without expending a whole bunch of like extra bandwidth and energy getting down in the weeds and
Yeah.
just it shouldn't be a drag on your main business. It should be an added value to your business.
Speaking of which, so like then as far as the logistics go, once people actually make orders, is Shopify, do they hook you up with like, the thermal printer or do you go to FedEx? Like, what do you recommend for?
Oh, when you print it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fulfillment side of it, that's a good piece. I forgot about that. I said we were going to talk about it. So the fulfillment piece, I always recommend new brands, and you guys aren't a new brand, but you guys are an existing company with employees and people. I would recommend you guys do the fulfillment yourself because it's super easy. We have a pretty robust system at Archive 3PL, which is our fulfillment warehouse. That's a whole different setup, but use printstation.com, link it up. That'll also link up with, I forget if it's Shippo or whatever, but it's literally click through in like 2 minutes and it'll walk you through all the steps and then it'll set you up so you'll be your own fulfillment setup.
Okay.
And then don't do it every day because it's just tedious. But if you get a lot of orders, you can spend like a half hour, 20 minutes on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then just print them all out, get your poly mailers. Like we get our poly mailers from Uline. You get some blank ones there.
Okay.
I think Sticker Mule and psprint.com have some like custom poly mailers that you can make. They're a little bit more expensive, like 50 cents to $1 each, but they're dope.
Yeah.
Or you get them super cheap on Uline. You can also get racks on Uline, all the stuff. But you buy like one rack or Action Wholesaler. So actionwp.com is where we get our stuff on the West Coast. And all these racks we have there in the warehouse are from them. You get one rack, you set it up, you get a couple bins, and then you just super easy to walk in. Order comes out. Yeah, you always want to get a thermal printer though too. So a thermal printer, the Dymo 4XL or Zebra, there's a couple of those. You get them on Amazon for like $100. And then the thermal printer labels, like 4x6. And then that'll save you on ink paper too, because it's after a while, the ink cost on your printer, if you have to print it out on paper, it's crazy. It'll eat up your costs like crazy, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
so
think of that.
Yeah, you just get ShipStation and it'll automatically print you out your packing slip, which has the name of everything in there,
Your grab list
and the shipping label, and you just rip those off, put it in the bag, put the packing slip in there, slap the label on top. It's probably 45 seconds of work, and then you're golden. And every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you just take the bag down to post office. And you just drop it off. You don't have to stand in line. You just drop it off. They always have a big box there. You just go in, drop it off, 10 seconds, and you're done. There's obviously a lot more to that at scale, but that's the basics of it. And that's what I normally recommend people do for 50 to 100 orders a month. It starts to get tedious. And that's the point where it starts to like eat up your time. And that's the point where it makes sense to start looking at outsourcing to 3PL like us, where we can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then you got
40 or 50, that's like the threshold.
Yeah. Well, no, 50 to 100. Yeah.
Okay.
You could probably handle 100 orders a month. You could handle, but it would start to eat up like
depending on your main job.
Your time. Yeah. It's going to hurry up some time. And then customer service issues too. Have a dedicated like support at your domain email. And that's the contact one, because you don't want to have to deal with those emails on your normal email chatter because you got so much other shit going on. Have that. When we take over fulfillment for brands, we handle all their customer service too, so they don't have to deal with that. But the stuff that you're doing, man, that setup is going to run you for, it could be years. It could be years. You don't have to touch it. It's super like
Hopefully, I mean, we're not an apparel brand, so
But that's the point. You don't want to be.
yeah,
Just want a quality product.
yeah. I just want it to be consistent.
Yeah, that's the baseline, man. Any other questions before we sign off on this?
Not that I can think of at this second, but
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on and chatting about this, brother.
yeah,
All
a
right.
lot.
Yeah. And also, he was also a 2-time guest on our podcast called Liberty Risk, which is where we drink more and curse more and talk about all the shenanigans and funny stuff. So if you want those stories, check out Liberty Risk podcast. And this is just business talk and apparel specifically. But thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Dope, man. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, thanks, dude.